It is quite windy out here today, and I will tell you it has made this a very, very pleasant drive. And the man is out and he has been cruising, and we have trotted a pretty good strong, not a strong trot as in speed, but lots of impulsion for the last 2 miles. And just happy as he could be getting out here moving. We cantered some, we trotted a lot of it, and now I'm insisting we walk because we're about to have to figure out our way through the rough stuff to get to the road to head back down to the other road. That doesn't make much sense. We're going down a farm road to get to County Road P. And the farmers have been using right inside this fence line to the west or east of this fence line instead of the old road to the west of the fence line, which is very rough. And because they haven't been driving it, the weeds are very high on it. The only thing about that worries me is that the badgers like to dig holes, and with those tall weeds you can't always see the badger holes coming. So, and I really, really don't want to find one by accident. So, Doodlebug is along, and Amy is along, and Nikki was with us for a while. I don't know if she gave up on us, because we were moving pretty fast, and Nikki tends to be kind of lazy. Yeah, if it gets warm outside, you won't find Nikki hanging around in the barn and wanting to mess with the horses. You'll find Nikki in the house, under the dining room table, in the air conditioning. So, and she's white. She should not attract the heat quite so much. Shall we trot? Let's working trot. He says, I don't know, this is rough ground. Working trot. Good boy. Yes, it is rough ground. Just not a thing we can do about it, son. Not only that, it's deep. And it's going to make him work. Nope, we aren't going that way. I have lots to do today, and I wanted a chance to get out and have a nice long drive with him in the cool. It's supposed to get to 100 degrees today. I thought maybe I'd pass on driving in that kind of weather if I can avoid it. So here we are, and it's in the 60s somewhere. It's just lovely out. He's getting more and more used to his new shoes. Because he has a tendency to fall with his front feet, his front feet are quite a bit shorter than his back feet were. And in order to get them even, so he's overstriding a little bit. You hear him hitting the toe of his back foot underneath the bottom of his front foot. Come on, you can keep going in this heavy dirt. Not as bad as, or it's only as bad as the arena. So until his feet grow out a little bit, his front feet grow out a little bit, and he can start getting those front feet out of the way of his back feet, it's going to be a little noisy driving him, but it's not terrible. I've had horses that were a lot worse. Keep moving, buddy. He was so tickled that he always loves being the one taken out of his stall. And this afternoon when I get home from town, this is kind of my one day off. It's Tuesday, and there is a group that he says this is heavy, that gets together and crochets on Tuesdays, and I'm part of that group. And so Yeah, walk right on. Walking is fine. That builds muscle too. So by the time I get home from that, it'll be 100 degrees, and I'd rather not drive in 100-degree weather if I can avoid it. Yeah, it's hard work, isn't it? But I see the tracks going off to the right here. And they're going over so that they go right around the outside of the crops. And that makes it kind of a road, and that makes it a whole lot more solid ground to work on. Oh, and the bugs are starting to come out. That's one of the nice advantages of trotting straight into the wind was no bugs. Is that better? He says, oh yes, now I can walk on. So there are roads that go around the crops that aren't real roads, but they do. There are roads that go around the sections, and those are straight lines, and they're good and solid. But like I said, the badgers have been getting into them and digging deep holes, and I don't like that. But we are going to go over onto the road because I don't know if you can see it, but there is a sprinkler down there, and I don't want to drive in the mud. Walk on. And of course there are the county roads and the farm roads, the section roads connect to the county roads. Walk on. Some of the corn this year looks strong and powerful. This is young enough, and it is hit by the wind. We are going to go that direction. It's hit by the wind enough that it looks pretty thin at the moment. But it'll get taller, it'll get stronger. Are you enjoying this walking along in the cool breeze? Is that kind of a nice deal? Let's working trot. Little man, working trot. Thank you. And as he gets tired, he hits a little more. Yes, there's a sprinkler. I don't really want to get wet. Are you busy watching that sprinkler, huh? Keep moving. Yes, it's a sprinkler. Yes, we want to avoid the mud. Good boy. And that's always something that startles them, is when the wheels start moving and the thing starts moving around in the dirt and makes noise. Yes, I know you know how to do water. I'd rather not today, please. Working trot. Pay attention. If we just stay over here on the very edge, we will stay out of the mud. He had things to think, other things to think about, and so he was not being lazy. He was picking up his feet and not hitting. And now he's relaxing and, and he's starting to hit a little bit. He'll get better. Here you go. Good boy. I don't want to fling mud all over the place, please. Some of the farmers say to me, well, I know where you were out driving because I can follow your tracks. And no pneumatic tires out here. We're turning back into the wind, and I'm hoping that my glove is doing a good job of blocking the wind sounds. Over here where it's a little smoother. Thank you. What a good boy. As he gets more interested in what's going on around him, there's a whole lot less hitting, and that's partly because he raises his head. When he raises his head, he also picks his front feet up a little bit higher. We walk. I'm trying to decide whether we're going to go home or go another 2 miles extra. I'm trying to let him decide here. I guess we're going home. All right. And that's millet. And we like very much to stay out of the crops. What was that about? Did you find a rock? Shall we working trot? He says, you bet. Yes, now that we're going with the wind, the bugs are available to us, huh? To talk him into flexing his neck a little bit more, bringing his jaw in a little bit, bringing his nose in a little bit, and by doing that, that's going to help him use his front end a little bit better. Right now he's got everything, all of his weight on his front end. And what I want him to do is learn to balance himself. And he's getting better. He's just 3. Back in the days when I was doing show horses, yes, the 3-year-olds were doing a lot better than this, but I have time to take more time with them now. Come here. That's a boy. That's a boy. He's so pretty. This is Green Tree Ladies Man. He's 3. He is a son of Green Tree Gathering Storm and Green Tree Lady Rose. There you go. And this corn is getting big and tall, and it's strong. Kind of nice to see. And we avoid going off the road to the left here because it's full of little holes. Little holes, big holes, critter holes, things that we don't want to have to deal with. Now we have switched from corn to cotton. And I love watching the crops grow. It's very interesting to me too. See them grow, see how they grow, see what they do. Hello, little killdeer. The killdeers are bouncing around us and trying to talk us into coming away from their nests. And of course, we don't know where their nests are. And we're interested in just moving forward. So, well, hello, that was a blackbird singing on a post right above us. And impressively did not leave while we were going under it. Yesterday, while we were out riding, we passed a burrowing owl sitting on a post in broad daylight. That absolutely blows my mind. They live in holes in the ground, and they are out during the day. And I had to do a lot of reading up about them because I really didn't get it. And when we get back, we're going to drag the arena. It's one of our good strength building things. I'll be interested in when Nikki shows up. Knowing Nikki, she's already at home, sound asleep under the dining room table. She's the most barn sour dog I've ever worked with. Not yet. One of the things I love about my Stormy horses is they all love walking. They all love going out for a walk. Brother, it looks like there's rain up to the north. Texoma had between 10 and 13 inches last week. They do not need more rain right now until they get dried out a little bit more. All right. We are here. Let's walk. This pair of gates in the fence line is our walk spot. Walk on. That doesn't mean you get to drag your head on the ground. No, it doesn't. The nice thing about going this direction is they've mowed, so he's not trying to eat all the time. Oh, it's beautiful out right now. I'm looking at the donkeys standing out in their pen, and they're not standing there swishing tails. Now, the horses are in their pens, but the donkeys aren't, and that's good. Oh, yes, they are. And whoa. What a very good boy. Walk on. Now, when you can get one to stop this close to home and just stand quietly, I feel like that's a decided statement of how good they are. Oh, there's Zazu. Nope, there's Nikki. She's not under the dining room table yet. But she did come right home. And when we come in the yard, we make figure eights around the stump, what used to be a tree, and pine tree. And I do that with all of them. Riding, driving, doesn't matter. And I like to do that because it reminds them that they don't get to just zip right back straight to the barn. And it's funny because when we come in the yard, even if I don't aim him to the trees, he goes there. Hey. Good. I have attention, please. Walk on. That's a good boy. No, you're going to kill that cone. All right, come right. Walk on. Now he's headed for the other one. I have some friends that train their horses to avoid the cones by having somebody be just a little distance from the cone with a stick underneath it, and as the horse would approach it, they would wiggle the cone a little bit. Boy, it got the horses staying away from the cones. So that was a good thing. And the babies are out playing. Everybody's out enjoying the cooler weather. I want you to come around. Good boy. Come on around. And into the arena. All right, this is going to take both of my hands, so you guys have a great day, because we have had a fabulous one so far. And it's going to only get better.